Hello and welcome everybody, this is Patrocles. Now today we have the second episode of our Advanced Shaman video series, and we are going to be going into bleeds and bites. This is the part of the character's kit that makes it so unique, and if you want to unlock that full potential and make the most out of your shaman, let's jump into the pit. Now the goal here is of course to apply our bleed and make our way to landing that bite. It's the way that we're going to get the most damage in and we're going to get the most healing for ourselves at the same time. But how we do this depends on what type of bleed we're applying, and we break these into two categories. We have offensive bleeds, the bleeds that we apply in and around our chains, whether on openers or follow-ups to our finishers, or defensive bleeds, the ones that we get on our deflects. Now, the reason we break these up into two different categories is not how our input works or anything like that. It's more to do with what our opponent is doing at that time. Now, for offensive bleed, we have taken the initiative in the fight, and our opponent is on the defense. They know the bleed's applied to them, and they know the pounce is coming. So the last thing we want to do is just go straight to the pounce. Instead, after we soft feint our opener into the bleed, we're going to try and double tap the lights to go into the unblockable soft feint into the guard break and the throw, which allows us to guarantee the pounce. And even if we weren't able to get that soft feinted guard break, then we still were able to lay in those two lights and get some healing. Now let's take a look at it. We have the bleed cancel for 17 damage total, the two light attacks, which is the 15 damage total, so you're doing 31 damage plus the two heals. This is a fantastic use of Shaman's full kit, and it's underutilized. These lights, when you're in blood trance, everyone just goes straight for that pounce. You have time to mess around. You have time to throw some lights, even get blocked, and still throw some more, go into your combo, and get that guard break to guarantee it. So going from almost zero health here, you have time to throw 5 of these double tap lights. You're gaining nearly a bar and a half of health for yourself, and I've taken them from full health down to less than 1 bar. So make sure lights in blood trance is something that you use. Don't always go for the pounce. Mix things up and try and get these lights in. They can really, really tip the battle in your favor. Now, the other kind of offensive bleeds that we get are the follow-up to our completed chains, as well as the soft feints out of our zones. And these are different for two very big reasons. One, we are low on stamina. We have just completed a full chain, and we may not have gone into it in full stamina to begin with. And two, we have just dealt significant damage to our enemy, whether it was with the zone or with the combo, and we have applied the bleed. So they are closer to losing, and they have bleed on them. They are going to be hyper aware of us about to go into a bite. So we want to use that against them. Since they're going to be expecting the pounce, we want to feint the pounce and try and get them to dodge and then let it go. Without that large stamina pool, we have to resort to the mind games and try and bait that dodge, try and pull it out and try and get them to do it so that we can land that pounce. You need to be careful against people who have those dodge attacks. You have to make sure you have your spacing and wait till the attack's over, otherwise you're going to eat it. Now for our defensive bleeds, our deflects. Now these are very different for one main reason, and that is that our opponent is the one in the offensive mode. They're the one trying to throw their attacks and complete their chains. Now, people are quite used to being parried. It interrupts you right in the middle of your attack animation, but deflects still catch people off guard. And because of that, it's going to be the best chance you have to buffer that pounce input and go straight to it. And of course, that's not going to continue to work. You can do that once, but then you just start mixing things up with light attacks and guard breaks and try and guarantee that pounce with mix-ups. Okay guys, so this really sums it up. We have 3 different options. From the opener cancel, we're doing a full combo. From a zone cancel or the chain finisher, that's where we want to go to the mind games. And lastly, when we get our deflect in, we just want to go for it and keep up the aggression. Now I suggest you practice these and make them almost a muscle memory. So the only thinking you need to do is if you want to riff on that, is if you want to experiment and try and start mixing things up mid-fight because your opponent's starting to adapt. So I'm going to wrap it up here. If you enjoyed it and found this helpful, then leave a like and subscribe. We'll have more of these coming. Leave some comments. Let me know what topics you want me to cover in the future. This is Patrocles, and I'll see you guys on the next one.